And we are live. Hi guys, welcome back to the Daily Spread with the Land Grant Gauntlet. As always, I'm going to tweet this out real quick, so bear with me momentarily. I'm trying to get a little bit faster at this, trying to streamline it a little bit, but it's always awkward and I always hate it. So I might cut this part out and stop doing it, but for now, I'm going to do it today. Okay. And that is sent. Okay, a few things to talk about today. We got, of course, March Madness. I mean, it's going down right here behind me on the screen. It's Notre Dame and somebody playing. 5 seed, 12 seed. God, who is? Oh, Princeton. That's right. Notre Dame and Princeton. And I think it's pretty close. Notre Dame up by 6 at the half right now. Okay, so we got that to talk about. March Madness. We have a brand new QuickSlant Podcast. Brady recorded that last night. ESPN has a great article out today about the best offensive triplets in the Big 12. We'll talk a little bit about that. I don't know if I agree 100% with their rankings, but we'll look. And then we got some recruiting red flags. If you're a recruit out there, some very big don't do this if you want to get recruited by a college coach today. By Football Scoop. So we got all that to talk about, some more LGG news. I'm Chris Ross. This is the Daily Spread, brought to you by landgrantgauntlet.com. You can follow us on Twitter at @the_LGG. We're also on YouTube. Find us there. Hit the subscribe button so you get these videos and more. The podcast will go up there as well. And then, of course, we're on Facebook, / Land Grant Gauntlet. If you're watching this video, you probably know that. Okay, so let me get started with some LGG news. Yesterday, we were really excited to announce, and Brady even talked about this the day before, that we have a new commenting system to make it easier for you guys to participate. And we kind of brought on Discus Comments to kind of host that commenting side of the site for us, and it's not going so well. We're having a slight problem where, you may have seen this, that if you're on a desktop, if you're on a tablet like an iPad, Discus Comments isn't pulling up. When you hit the comment button, nothing happens. We don't see it on our end. When we're logged into the backside of the site, it actually loads just fine for us, so that's kind of why it took us a little bit to notice it. And it doesn't seem to be happening on mobile. On mobile, it's working as intended. So I spent some time with it last night. I'm afraid if I mess with too many settings and we're going to crash the whole site, but for the life of us, we can't figure it out right now. But we're working on it, and we will get it fixed. It's just going to take some time here. Moving on, much better news. If you watched yesterday, hopefully you did, we have some new contributors: Chase Wilder, Jeremy Hewen, and Skylar Callahan. These guys are already working on content. I already know this behind the scenes. They're working on stuff. They have some great ideas for some articles and some kind of feature pieces to, get us ready for some spring football into the fall and of course for the season. So really excited about that. Okay, big news today. March Madness going on behind me. That's awesome. I guess I can reveal who my bracket now. I have Kansas going to the Final Four. I have West Virginia going to the Final Four, knocking off Florida State in the Elite Eight. And then I have Villanova and UCLA. And I have Villanova knocking off Baylor, and I have Baylor knocking off Duke, and that might be a little optimistic. We'll see. But I have Baylor knocking off Duke, getting to the Elite Eight. Villanova's a little too much for them. I have Villanova, Kansas in the final, and the Jayhawks winning it all. So I probably jinxed it for all of them. Sorry. Okay. Later today, I think I got some game times here. Oh, this is kind of interesting. March Madness. So it came out that it's expected to cost employers $4 billion. $4 billion. That's insane. Just give everybody off. I mean, if you want to watch let's just call it a holiday. and get people to their TVs so they can stop pretending to work and stop watching it on their home computer on their work computer, and just $4 billion. That's a lot of lost productivity. Okay, so we have up first at I believe it's 1:45. Is that right? 1:45 Central. West Virginia 4 seed tips off against Bucknell, the 13 seed there. Hopefully they have no problem, dispatching Bucknell. After that, the late game at a weird tip time of 9:57 on the money. I don't know why it needs to be that specific, but Iowa State 5 seed tries to avoid the 5-12 seed curse as they take on Nevada. Should be a great game. It's kind of tough. Iowa State's a team that kind of lives on 3-point shooting, and I hate that, especially when you're trying to avoid an upset in a spot that typically does get upset. But hopefully they can avoid that, and I have them moving on. I picked the Cyclones, so hopefully that works out for them. Okay, last night, I said this a minute ago, Brady recorded a podcast, another QuickSlant Podcast. It's a great show. Earlier he had talked about, they kind of broke down the report that Baker Mayfield was arrested. Well, since then, the video's come out. So he brought on a Sam Gannon from Fox 25 News here in Oklahoma City, and they kind of talk about the video, what's on the video, the way Mayfield was acting and what should come of it. But then they also talk a lot about, some Oklahoma State football. They talk about Mason Rudolph in there and just how good of a quarterback is he. Sam makes some great points. Have we seen... She asked, have we seen his peak? Maybe? I don't know. I am notoriously, you can ask Kyle Porter with Pistols Firing, I am notoriously down on Rudolph. And he had 2 games where he lived up to expectations last year. And those games were absolutely phenomenal. Don't get me wrong. His ceiling, I do think we have not seen his ceiling yet. I think we'll see a much better Rudolph this season. Hopefully, and the receiving core is just, we talked about this yesterday, it's just unbelievable. We also talked about it, and we got behind the scenes here. What Oklahoma State has at receivers is just, it's a plethora of talent, and that should make Mason Rudolph look really good, hopefully, for the Cowboys. But what do you think? Have we seen the best out of Rudolph? He does tend to be high. He does tend to be, kind of not lead his receivers as well as he could. Are those things that OSU should be worried about? Does he have a better season this year? Has he plateaued? Let us know your thoughts in the comments on the video, hopefully on the site. And then ESPN has a great article. I'm just going to go to it here. They are ranking Big 12 offensive triplets today. And Cowboys, they take that top spot with Mason Rudolph, running back Justice Hill, who just turned on last year. He hit the stage in a big way. And then James Washington's back. And you know what? Honestly, that might not even be their main 3. I could see Marcel Aitman overtake Washington for that top receiver spot. He's a very talented guy that missed some time due to injury, but he's back. He's fully healthy. He can make a big statement in 2017. So it might not even be Washington. That's how loaded Oklahoma State is right now. Behind them, the Sooners with Baker Mayfield and Rodney Anderson, and then Marquise Brown. A solid pick there. I don't know. Kansas State comes in third with Jesse Ertz, Alex Barnes, and Byron Pringle. Pringle came on big again at the end of last year. He's a very talented receiver for the Wildcats there. I'm not going to give it all away because I want you guys to go, click on it, check it out. We'll have the link on the page here after. A little underrated. They have West Virginia 5th. I might move them up ahead of TCU. That's at 4th. Will Greer, they're very high on him. Well, the guys around the West Virginia program, they're in Morgantown. They're very, very high on him. And I've heard this several times from different people. They legitimately think he could be the best quarterback to ever play at West Virginia. Then they have running back Justin Crawford, and then I'm going to mess up his name, Colron White. I mean, that's a talented 3. And I think from quarterback alone, they're very high on him. I might, TCU with Kenny Hill, I would put West Virginia 4 and TCU 5 there. Another underrated trio, Iowa State at 8, Jacob Park, David Montgomery, and Alan Lazard. Lazard is a phenomenal receiver. Jacob Park, I think, is a very good QB. I expect him to improve this year. So I think they might have the Cyclones a little low there as well. And then, of course, the bottom of the conference is, unfortunately, the Jayhawks. We'll see. Sims Jr., he's a great receiver. Hopefully they can kind of move up that ranking there. I think you got some uncertainty at quarterback and different things there. But those are kind of the main offensive triplets, the threats in the Big 12. So definitely check out that article. And then the last article of the day here to talk about is from Football Scoop. And if you have never checked them out before, they're a fantastic site. Definitely give them a look. They have tons and tons of just fantastic content, especially if you like just the ins and outs of football. The article here, the headline is, I'll just read the headline, 12 recruiting red flags according to college coaches across the country. And they interview coaches at every level here. So we're talking about FBS coaches, FCS coaches, and, down. But we have kind of the biggest red flag, or they have it number 1. I don't know how they rank them here. But it's some things that recruits should avoid. We'll just kind of go through here. Middleman. If you're a recruit out there and you have someone handling your business for you when you're in high school, that's a giant red flag to coaches. They want to get to know you. They don't want to get to know your handler. They don't want to get to know someone trying to leech off of you or anything else. Even if they have your best interest at heart, they want to get to know you. A middleman and having someone kind of manage that for them, it's just a giant red flag to most coaches. They also want to see you treat your family well. How you treat your parents, how you treat, women or your girlfriend, that kind of thing. If you don't treat them well, that's kind of a red flag. If you don't respect your family, then how are you going to respect the program or the coaches or your players? It just kind of goes from there. And prospects that don't have their priorities straight. Okay, that makes sense. If you're spending more time on social media than you are, on your schoolwork, that's probably a problem. And a little vanity there, and maybe you don't want to. Maybe you don't want to work for it. Maybe you just expect it to happen for you, and that's a kind of a red flag. I'm not going to read them all here because I want you to go through and check it out. There's 12, so definitely a lot to kind of to look at. A couple things kind of out of recruits' control here, but if you have overbearing parents, I mean, I don't know what you could do about that, but that can be kind of a red flag to coaches. And then, look here. So indecisive recruits, or recruits that ask for scholarships right away, right off the bat. They start talking scholarship, that's kind of a red flag for coaches. They all kind of said that one. When a recruit's not unprepared. A lot of these, if you look at it, we've interviewed a couple of recruits in the recruiting process because we like to get a better understanding how that works. So with Patrick Mayhorn being our recruiting director, he's kind of heading a lot of that up. And just from personal experience, we have not run every interview we've done. And there's a reason for it. We're not here to make anybody look bad. That's not what we're going to set out. So and unfortunately, we've done a few interviews, and there's no names or no anything like that. I'm not going to kind of share any of that information. Nobody that's committed to any Big 12 team. But some guys out there, you talk to them, and just talking to them is pulling teeth. They send back snarky responses, or they don't seem interested, and that's fine. But we're not here to make you look bad, so we're just not going to run with it. Other recruits, so when we had Quazell White, I hope I pronounced your name right. Fantastic interview. A TCU guy there, Just fantastic interview. Can't say enough good things about him. So there's definitely a difference. I could see where coaches, if they have things they look for in recruits, and how they get along with the coaches, how they get along with the other players, are definitely going to be things they look for. So if you're a recruit out there, be humble, act like you want to work for it, don't be afraid to compete. Now, they do list a thing here, which I don't necessarily 100% agree with the coaches here. They say prospects that are looking for play time, or maybe an easier path to that starting position. So if a school's kind of a weak at a position that the recruit is playing at, then if they could kind of get to the top of the ladder there quicker. Coaches say that's a red flag if recruits are looking for that, and they're the coaches, so I can't say anything. But in my opinion, I'm not going to fault a guy for using his head. Obviously, college, for a lot of these high school guys, when you're in high school, your dream isn't to play college ball and go get a job. That's, if they love the game, their dream is to play in the NFL. I can't fault them for wanting to get an easier path to a starting position, so they get, there's more time on the field, more time on TV, more time, in front of scouts, and that kind of thing. I can't fault them for that. I understand the coaches' point of view, where they're saying that they want a guy that competes, but and isn't afraid to be competitive, and that's, I understand that. But there's also something to be said, if a guy is truly 100% competitive, and you want a guy with something between the ears. And I'm not going to fault a guy for kind of looking out for himself, especially in that part of the process where he is the only one looking out for himself. So definitely, I don't know if I 100% agree with that one. But there's 12 points here. It's a great article. Give that a look. I think that's about all we have to talk about today. We're at 16 minutes, so it's a little bit long. Let me look here and make sure there's nothing new that popped up. No breaking news, which hopefully there's not. Yeah, I'm not saying, where's True TV? Yeah, I don't even know. I have a Cox box that I just hit the I say True TV, and it's going to change the channel behind me. I don't have to worry about it. So I don't know. I could not answer that for you. Last bit of news. We have a new t-shirt, which is really cool. Our last new t-shirt was the kind of the Big Daddy with a certain coffee mug and a certain visor that a certain coach may be known for in the Big 12. If you're an Oklahoma State fan, you just might want to check out our t-shirts. I don't know, maybe. But we have a new shirt today. It's live in the Game Day Depot. They handle our shirt sales for us. They handle the e-commerce. They're good at that. We've never done that before. I don't want to mess that up. So they handle that for us. They're great guys over there. But they have a new. It's our logo, the LGG logo that you see on our social media. That looks amazing on the shirt. It's kind of gritty, and it just looks really, really good. They had the other logo, the full logo. Which is nice too, but I really, really like the LGG logo. Check that out. Hopefully there's some interest there, but it's a great looking shirt, so definitely check it out. We'll have it in the article here as soon as this goes up. I'm Chris Ross. This has been the Daily Spread on March 16th, 2017 for the Land Grant Gauntlet. Follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, if you're on the video, hit the thumbs up, hit the like, hit the share, all of that stuff. Anything you do, whatever social media you're on, you see us, if you share it, if you like it, we love it. And we're here to talk to you guys. So definitely do that. I watch some other YouTube channels and they smash that like button. Well, okay, smash the like button. Do that. We appreciate it. Thank you guys. Have a great day. We will be back tomorrow.